A new British nuclear shield for Ukraine could make Moscow see red. Could it give Putin another pretext to escalate against NATO's eastern flank? The plan urges London to extend its Trident-backed nuclear umbrella beyond NATO, including to Ukraine and other European partners outside the alliance. But can Britain credibly widen deterrence commitments at such a dangerous moment? It is a striking bargain: nuclear security in return for renewed access to the EU single market. The proposed European Confederation would fuse trade, defense, and deterrence into one new bloc. Ukraine would become the new bloc's frontline military barrier against Russia. Is Kiev being positioned as Europe's shield? For Britain, this may be its biggest post-Brexit gamble, yet offering nuclear cover to non-NATO states while seeking privileged EU market access without free movement or Eurozone membership. Will London take the deal, or is this simply a bold idea destined to stay on paper? Britain has been urged to extend its nuclear umbrella to non-NATO European states, including Ukraine, in a proposal that would place more countries under the protection of the UK's Trident deterrent. The initiative was developed by former Conservative MP Nick Boles and reported on August 10, putting forward a major new framework for Britain's post-Brexit role in Europe. The proposed European Confederation would combine access to the EU's trade system with NATO-style defense guarantees, linking economic integration directly to collective security. Ukraine, Switzerland, Norway, and the Western Balkan states could be invited into the new bloc, expanding its reach beyond both the EU and NATO. Ukraine would be expected to maintain a large military as Europe's frontline buffer against any future Russian aggression, placing Kiev at the heart of the Confederation's security architecture. Kiev would also share its hard-won drone warfare technology and battlefield expertise with European partners, turning Ukraine's wartime innovations into a shared continental asset. In return for wider defense guarantees, London would seek access to the EU single market for goods, while avoiding both freedom of movement and re-entry into the Eurozone. The document has been presented to senior British officials, including the Prime Minister's National Security Advisor, but it is not government policy and has no official backing so far. The proposal comes as the United States reportedly weighs expanding its nuclear posture across more European NATO states, especially on the alliance's eastern flank. The U.S. discussions include potentially deploying dual-capable aircraft at additional bases, jets able to carry conventional weapons in daily operations and nuclear weapons in a conflict. Meanwhile, tensions flared after an unidentified drone crossed into NATO member Bulgaria, leading to an explosion. A drone explosion near Bulgaria's gas pipeline has exposed a fresh gap in NATO's border security along its eastern edge. On August 8, a drone crossed into Bulgaria from Romanian territory and detonated near the Kardam border crossing at around 8:10 in the morning. The blast went off roughly 1 kilometer from Bulgaria's compressor station on the Trans-Balkan gas pipeline, and just 200 meters from Romania's own station. This same Trans-Balkan pipeline carries energy across borders all the way from Turkey through to Ukraine, making it a strategically sensitive target. Romanian radar systems reportedly picked up no aircraft crossing toward Bulgaria in the moments before the explosion occurred. Bulgarian detection systems also failed to pick up the drone at any point before it actually went off, raising fresh questions about surveillance gaps.
Dear compatriots, at 8:10 this morning, we had an incident involving a drone intrusion into Bulgarian airspace and the explosion of the drone 100 meters inside the Bulgarian border from the direction of Romania. This happened in close proximity to the Romanian compressor station, 200 meters from the site of the explosion, 200 meters from the former border checkpoint between Bulgaria and Romania at Kardam, 1,000 meters from our compressor station on the Trans-Balkan gas pipeline. The sound of this drone was registered by the border police in Romania, and then a loud explosion was heard by the General Tashivo Border Police Patrol, which is in this area. The site of the drone explosion was identified immediately. Currently, there are units from the Border Police, the National Police, and the Ministry of Defense, who are currently establishing the type of the drone. The area is cordoned off. There are no injuries to people or damage to buildings and infrastructure. What we can say is that this unidentified drone was not detected in Romanian airspace, nor in our airspace. Accordingly, we will present information and raise the issue of the incident with this drone, which exploded on Bulgarian territory. I say again, 100 meters from the border with Romania. We cannot say yet. The type of the drone is being investigated. As soon as we find out, we will let you know. But it is not a toy drone. It is a larger drone. Again, according to data from the border officers who were in the area, a loud explosion was heard with black smoke. It fell in a sunflower field, and I hope we will find out the type soon.
Do you think this could be some kind of targeted attack? And was the drone carrying anything? Is there any such information?
We cannot answer at this stage, but one thing is for sure. The drone had a solid amount of explosives to be heard from a distance, and for this black smoke to rise.
This blast follows a July 30th incident in Poland, where a Russian Kh-101 cruise missile crashed into Polish territory during a massive overnight strike on Ukraine. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk said recovered fragments from the crash site pointed clearly to a Russian-made Kh-101 missile. That particular missile came down while Russia was carrying out a large-scale strike campaign against targets deep inside Ukraine overnight. With this latest Bulgarian incident, fresh pressure is now mounting on NATO's air defense systems all along its exposed eastern flank. Baltic security fears are growing sharply as Russia's ongoing drone war may now be entering a dangerous new phase entirely. Russia may use captured Ukrainian drones against NATO, Lithuania's own defense minister explicitly warned on August 6. Moscow could specifically target critical infrastructure across the Baltic region, according to Lithuanian military intelligence assessments. This alleged plan could deliberately help Russia create widespread confusion over exactly who launched any given attack. Officials warned that such staged operations could allow Moscow to completely deny responsibility for strikes on NATO soil. Lithuania's defense minister Robertas Kaunas said, and I quote, "We have information that Russia is considering the possibility of launching unconventional kinetic attacks against critical infrastructure in the Baltic region. It is quite likely Russia could use Ukrainian-made drones for this purpose." Unquote. A Ukrainian interceptor drone reportedly recorded a suspicious unidentified UV during an encounter on August 1st, according to the report. The drone's overall shape reportedly matched the known characteristics of Ukraine's own FP-1 and FP-2 strike UAVs. Analysts at Militarny claimed this particular UAV sighting may indicate Russia is already actively using captured Ukrainian drones. Moldova also separately reported that a drone bearing Ukrainian markings had crashed on its territory back on June 8, 2026. That specific incident occurred during a large-scale Russian missile and drone strike campaign launched against Ukraine. Notably, Poland's own defense minister had already warned of possible Russian false flag drone attacks as early as July. That earlier warning specifically said intercepted Ukrainian drones could be reused and redirected against NATO member states. These growing claims now come as NATO states remain on high alert over hybrid threats emerging near its eastern flank. Germany has raised the alarm after an explosives-laden drone was discovered near a Ukrainian cargo aircraft at Leipzig-Halle Airport, triggering a major security operation. German police found an unmanned aerial vehicle carrying an explosive device near a Ukrainian cargo plane at Leipzig-Halle Airport during a high-alert security response. Authorities immediately suspended airport operations and diverted incoming flights while bomb disposal teams worked to safely secure and neutralize the explosive threat. Police deployed a specialized bomb disposal robot to remove the drone's detonator before safely disabling and securing the explosives without causing further danger. Leipzig-Halle Airport serves as a critical logistics hub for Germany's armed forces as well as NATO military transport operations across Europe. Germany's Interior Minister Alexander Dobrindt described the incident as representing a new level of danger for the country's national security and critical infrastructure. Dobrindt said the operation appeared consistent with a highly professional hybrid threat, stressing that it did not resemble the work of inexperienced or amateur attackers.
First of all, I must say that we have to assume we are dealing with a very serious security-related incident here. My assessment is that we are dealing with a hybrid attack scenario here. All current speculation regarding the explosives, the construction, the question of a drone, the origin, and, of course, who is behind it, is now part of the investigation and should be left to that investigation. Any speculation on these matters may not be heading in the right direction, could simply be completely wrong. The priority right now is to investigate in all directions. However, I can certainly understand the intuition that these threats are not the work of amateurs. Rather, they require very professional preparation and execution. A high level of technical expertise is involved, as is experience in handling explosives. None of this points to amateurish methods. We are talking about a professional, hybrid threat scenario that we must continue to address. We are dealing with a contest here which possibly also involves foreign powers that will be part of the investigations. Actions clearly intended to cause significant uncertainty in Germany. Not just at airports, but in other locations as well. Not only involving drones, but other measures too. And this is part of the hybrid threat landscape we are experiencing today.
Ukraine's ambassador to Germany blamed Russia for the incident, saying Moscow remained the most likely suspect behind the alleged sabotage attempt. Investigators are continuing to examine the drone, its explosive payload and all possible links to foreign actors as the high-profile investigation moves forward.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.